All right. Good morning, folks. If you got the link and you're joining in, you have some idea what we're about to start working on. I had a great little meetup this weekend with my buddy Dirk Manning. All you folks who might be familiar with my stuff that's come out through SourcePoint Press, i.e. Apocalypse Girl. You're familiar with the company now, SourcePoint Press. Dirk is, in my mind, I think of him as a heavy hitter with SourcePoint and a heavy hitter in the indie comics world. Dude is a machine. He turns out tons and tons of books. Great writer. Really, really owns a number of different spaces. And in particular, the Lovecraftian space, which is near and dear to my heart. Dirk and I have a project coming up that we're going to be announcing sometime soon. We're still putting the dots on the I's and crossing the T's on a few things with it, but there's an ongoing project coming up, or a big project about to launch. Excuse me, it is super early. That should be fun. Should be really interesting. But in the meantime, there are a few things going on that I'm working on with SourcePoint. Again, the hardest part of this stuff sometimes, or a very difficult part that I always hate. I'm super excitable. I'm like a little kid, and I get very excited over stuff that's going on and just cool things coming on deck. So it's always hard for me to like keep stuff under wraps. I want to blurt it out. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be so cool. We're doing blah, 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 this, that, or the other. So anyway, there's a bunch of stuff coming up that I'm involved in with SourcePoint that's super cool. One thing that we're working out some details on it, but this is one of the things that's that doesn't have to be kept super quiet. Pardon me. That Dirk and I kind of worked out some of the bones of this weekend is producing a collectible of his character, Mr. Rhee, R-H-E-E, which last week, I think we ended last week, I did a quick, it's pretty rough, but it's a quick color piece during the warm-up time of that character. And I decided that I'm going to spend a little bit of time this morning roughing in 3D in Zbrush, getting together the basis of what I'm thinking of for the collectible on that. So if you're a fan of Dirk, you're a fan of Mr. Rhee, that series of books that he has out, then I think those originally came out with Devil's Due Publishing. I'm not sure. I don't know. I know Dirk's got some stuff out with a variety of different people, but SourcePoint seems to be kind of home now. So anyway, if you're a fan of those books, fan of the character Mr. Rhee, fan of Dirk, or God forbid, the stuff that I do, then you might get a kick out of this. So let's jump on over to Zbrush. Be off here. Check, check. I bet I've been running without my vocal audio on for a minute. That sucks. Alright, so as a recap, what I'm working on this morning is getting started on a sculpt of Mr. Rhee, character from the Tales of Mr. Rhee by my friend Dirk Manning. Dirk is the fine gentleman who introduced me to the folks at SourcePoint Press, and I owe him a huge debt of thanks for helping open the door for Apocalypse Girl to find the book's home. Alright, let's turn that off for a minute so we have some quicker interactions here. Okay. Let's think about some eyebrows on him. And I'll let that sit there for a second while I pop over to a different window and pull up some references. References are a good thing. Do that a lot. I'll take a clay build-up and build up a little bit of form in an area and then smooth it back. Right. Yeah, that's starting to come together. Let's relax those lips a little bit and work on that area some. Okay. Working on something like this, you get into a lot of minutia pretty quickly. It's one of the reasons I like working from a buck like I did, because then I can jump start, some of the worst of it, get past a lot of stuff and get right on into the details. I'll soften some of these features a little bit. tendency on sculpts to make the jaws a little too prominent. And so I'm going for something more realistic. I need to relax that back a bit. Move that mouth up a little bit. Don't necessarily want it to be smiling, but you know, something a little more serious. Change those proportions a little bit. Rework the lips a bit. I'm starting to feel pretty good about this. Let's see where that puts those at. Okay. Looking in a little bit more on that brow. There's a few little things here that kind of bother me proportion-wise. Okay. I'm gonna carve in those eyes. Put some spheres in there to help me guide my forms a bit better. Okay. It's pretty cool. That off. Right. So now, I have a much better way to gauge some things about the eye areas there. Let's bring the brow area out a little bit more. Pop over and check chat real quick. Okay. This is not one of my talk heavy streams because I'm really super focused, but that's actually when things get fun for me. In case anyone's wondering, I do have a reference picked out of an actor who I think is perfect for this. I'm not trying to do the actor's actual likeness, but I am sort of using it to inform my choices on some things. If anyone can guess who that is, if I had any prizes to give out, I'd give it. It's a little better. Okay, I feel like that's a pretty good base for the face on this guy right now. I'll probably end up making some changes here and there to it eventually. Actually, I see something I want to do right now to it. There's that. And just so that it helps me visually, I'm going to spray in a little bit of texture. Just a touch. Break that up a little bit, just for my own eyes while looking at it here. Of course, also, you know, with the scale and everything, that's probably not going to be. Some of that detail might come out actually in a print and resin. Alright, I need to go back here and look at some proportions because his head and neck are pulled way too high up there. So let's do that. Okay. Because I think he's a bigger guy than this. Let's put some real shoulders on this dude. Yeah. I immediately am liking that much better. Okay. Right, I'm actually going to save his big kind of characteristic marking on his head until much later in the process. Right now I just wanted something that kind of evokes a character on there. Then I want to go ahead and start working with some clothing, getting some of that in place. So let's go to excuse me. Oh, pardon me. Let's see. Delete hidden. Let's close holes. Mirror and weld. Okay. And this stuff is probably all going to change a number of times before I consider it, you know, a success. But this is getting the ball started, getting the ball rolling this morning. Let's go through here and relax a lot of this. I think I'm going to try something here in a second that I've only done a time or two, but sometimes it can work out pretty well. This is the using the new cloth features. So let's cut off that right there. To inflate all that a little bit. How are we doing on the resolution here? Resolution's a little high for what I want. So I'm gonna bring some masking down to there. And use Sculptor smoothing to lower that number quite a bit. I'll make my brush a little larger and hit it with that smoothing. It'll reduce the poly count even more. Okay. And let's get rid of those. Get rid of this too. And then let's take Z-remesher to this thing, even though I'm going to end up, like whatever clean topology I may get out of this, I'm still going to end up losing it later, but that's fine because if you want to use a cloth sim on something, then having a cleaner topology just makes it work better. So let's go with half the poly count currently. We have symmetry on. Let's do keep groups. See what we get. Not bad. Let's do that again. Also, not bad. Not bad. Alright. Now let's project that all back down to the surface. Polish it once, and then inflate that. Okay. And I'm going to sculpt this shape out a little bit here. Add some volume onto the legs. Some volume back here. Do some overall polish on all that. Okay, so now, pardon me, it is morning. It is morning on a Monday. All right, so let's go into our dynamics. We have a morph target set now. We're going to set this to collision volume. I'm going to turn my firmness way up. Pardon me, I had to mute to go off screen there to sneeze. Everybody should know by now, if you're watching, it is allergy season for me, and yeah, it has its own special trials and tribulations. Alright, so we have a morph target set. Let's recalculate. Hit once and see what it does. Okay, cool. It's going to slide all over the place, which is what we expect. Let's turn the inflate down on it. And one of the reasons I kept this little group right here, so I can mask it, and that's going to allow it to pin. So we'll pin in place right there. Okay. Ooh, 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 ooh. Let's turn self collisions up. Turn that firmness up. Yeah, it seems to me like we want to sculpt this out a little bit more first, which is fine. Not a big deal. It was really an experiment more than anything there, just to see where we would land. So let's go in, hit B to bring up my brush menu, and then since I know I'm going to use a cloth brush, I want to start playing around with some cloth brushes, I'll hit C so that we can focus in. Let's look at the cloth inflate here and see what that does on it. Okay. Helps us out a little bit there. Now I'm using a cloth pull. There we go. Turn that firmness down. We can start guiding in some wrinkles and things. Let's delete that morph target, set a new one. Changing out the morph targets is actually pretty important when using cloth. Also, looking at it with subdivision turned on, it's pretty handy. Pull that groin area back up a bit. And we'll soften that. And then delete and switch morph targets. Now we can take this brush and narrow it down a little bit. Let's recalculate. And then we start being able to manipulate that a little bit better. Okay, start doing some more sculpted kinds of stuff onto this now. And I want to add some subdivisions so we get a little bit more to work with. This is just getting a general shape in place on this. I'll end up probably talking to Dirk, getting his input on references for an actual real world type of pants. It's not a bad place to be with at the moment. Let's delete that morph target, store a new one. Get our masking back. And then, let's see. I'm curious. I've actually never touched this brush before, so let's see what it does. Cloth pinch trails. It's kind of neat. Not sure it does anything for me on this, but maybe. That's kind of neat. I'll hold the Alt key and hit it. Ah! Huh. Yeah, did I just lose my memory on here? I think I did, and that sucks. That's okay. We have a morph target there. I think I need to recalculate. There we go. Okay, let's take a look here. I think I'm having an issue with something here. Yeah, it's very weird. Sometimes ZBrush gets wonky with my undo. And I don't like that. Okay, let's come back in here now and let's see. I think I've been on this for about an hour, so I'm probably gonna call it quits here soon for the day on this. But we got a good head sculpt going on it. A nice start. Let's go ahead and just, oh, that's interesting. Let's go ahead in here and store a morph target. And I want to put some of that insignia there on the character. subdivision. Morph target over here. And this is also a good opportunity to show this other new thing in here called thick skin. So like with thick skin, it can limit how far off a surface something goes. So like there you see how that starts to flatten. It's because it's reaching the limit of the thick skin tolerance. And that's a nifty thing. Because then we can flatten, create this shape right off there that's kind of flattened to the surface. What direction do I want to go in with that, though, is the question. Let's do it this way. Let's take a mask pen, change it to a rectangle, change it to this alpha. Okay. And then come in here and work with that alpha a little bit. So... yeah, we need to really turn up. I want to turn up the contrast and the intensity on that. It's really weird the way that's working right now. It's kind of irritating me. Either way I go here, it's actually killing my mask. There we go. That's more like it. I think that might be a little large on him, though. Let's go there. We'll apply that. Okay, let's get a straight line going down it. Like that. And a straight line coming out here. And a straight line going up here. And there's a dot right there. Okay. Let's come back down to the lower subdivision. Delete the higher one. I'm gonna make a group out of that. That sucks. That really sucks. Okay, there we go. We could subdivide it that way. Almost. Dang it. Not wanting to give me the grouping that I want right there. I don't want to go so far with that. Come in here and draw this in a little bit more. There we go. Gotta be careful there. Am I still in sculptress mode? No. Odd. Yeah, I'm not real happy with how any of that is coming out there. Let's back it up. Back it up. I think I'll just delete that lower subdivision. I can always go and Z-remesh it later to get a lower subdivision. It'll be easier to work with for posing. Boy, that is interesting how that keeps doing that. There we go. That's what I wanted. Then I can do an inflate in with that. Okay. Now I can get that into a separate little area here. Hard to see exactly what I'm doing, I know, but that's going to give it that, it seems to me like it's scarred in sort of thing. So I want that sort of burnished into the surface, kind of like that. All right. Feel pretty good about that. Let's do a quick turntable and look at it. Ears need some development done to them. They're really just kind of placeholder right now. But I like the overall shape. The proportions are pretty good. Definitely has the inspiration of a certain actor in it without being that actor. So I like that. I like the way that's working out for me with this. I'm going to go ahead and add in a few more little details here before I call it a morning on this. Some of the stuff that sort of, I think the character needs to, or things that'll bring out character rather, and then will also translate well whenever it's going into physical production. I think we could probably add some more porousness to it at this point. I know some folks probably do this using surface noise, but I like the irregularity of it when put in with a brush by hand. Come back here. There we go. Ho, ho, ho. Alright, let's do one more turntable here. Alright, I'm feeling pretty good about that. Dirk, if you're watching, let me know what you think. I'm sure we'll discuss it at some point. This is hopefully going to be the basis of a collectible piece based on Mr. Rhee. So, there you have it. I'm going to let that linger there for a second so I can grab a good thumbnail of it. Alright, well, that is going to conclude this morning. Let me adjust this thing a little bit. There we go. That's going to conclude this morning's warm-up sketch. Wasn't really as much of a warm-up as it was. I just wanted to jump right into this because I have a ton of work on my plate and really need to try and use as much of my time as I can to get these projects knocked out the door. So thanks for watching. As always, like, subscribe, share, all that groovy stuff. Go over to 6s1.com, sign up for the mailing list, and until tomorrow morning, keep doing your thing.